Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's Elle and this is the Melanin Expat. So today I'm going to be making rice paper dumplings. I am vegan. Yes, I'm a vegan. This year for my New Year's resolution, I have decided to be vegan, and basically something that's been keeping me on track the last few weeks and making being a whole vegan a little bit more exciting is experimenting with new dishes. And I love dumplings. I love a lot of Asian food. So I am trying to make rice paper dumplings, but obviously vegan ones. So for my filling, I'm using tofu, some spring onions, and some mushrooms. You can use whatever you want. And that is what I'm starting off with. So I'm just preparing my filling. I'm actually drying the tofu, as you can see, and I'm using like a paper towel to do that. You might be scratching your head and wondering what the F I'm doing, but this is a very important technique and step that you should take if you're cooking with tofu that has been saturated in water. You need to dry it because it helps whenever you season it, the flavor to stay in the tofu. So I've previously tried to cook with tofu and it always tasted like nothing. And I've now understood that the reason most likely was because I was not drying the tofu. So yes, do it. It's meant to be amazing. It works for me and hopefully it works for you. Anyway, going back to the tofu filling, I'm now about to season it up. So I'm adding a little bit of olive oil, and that's just to help the seasoning mix up and also to help the tofu cook when I chuck it on a pan. They definitely said 1 tablespoon and I just winged it because I hate following direction. Next step, I'm adding a seasoning of my choice. You don't even have to go ham with the seasoning. I'm using paprika. I love paprika in everything. It's just a standard seasoning for me. So I've put like half a teaspoon. And also I'm going in with some ginger, and I've put like a third of a teaspoon. And I think this is where I messed up because it definitely did taste like ginger. And then finally, I just added some chilies. So yeah, and then I'm going to seal everything up with some soy sauce and mix it all in. Again, you don't have to use as many seasonings as I did. I tried to follow the recipe and also tried to like add my own twist to it. So yeah, that's what works for me. Next step, I'm sorting out the mushrooms, which is also going to be part of the filling, and I'm just kind of deheading them. They've been washed already, so no one come for me. I actually didn't know that certain people don't dehead their mushrooms. It's a thing, but yes, it is. But anyway, I dehead mine. I don't think it really matters, but hey, do what you want. I picked about four, I would say large size mushrooms because I love mushrooms and I want it to be really mushroomy. But I think I ended up with too much filling in the end. So again, don't follow me when it comes to the measurements because I'm really not sure how much food you'll end up with. But yeah, I'm just trying to slice up the mushrooms as small as I can. I probably could even do a better job than that, but I'm being very lazy. I'm going to fry the mushrooms, so they're going to shrink in size anyway, so it's completely fine. But again, do what makes you happy. From there, I'm heating up the pan. I'm preparing it to be fried or to fry all my filling. And I'm going in with some rapeseed oil. I'm not sure if that's English or German. My brain just is not functioning. But yes, I'm using rapeseed oil. And then I'm having a little dance party. Anyway, going back to the food, I'm going to fry the mushrooms to begin with because they need some time to get warm and to shrivel down. And that's really my priority, to make the filling as small as possible. I'm adding some oregano in there because just because. And then I'm also adding some turmeric. I literally love cooking with turmeric. I just put it in everything I make because apparently it's meant to be really good for you. Like I read somewhere that it's meant to help like decrease the chances of you having like high blood pressure and random things like that. So I'm like, if I can, I'm gonna cook with it. So I cook with it. Anyway, I'm stirring the mushrooms, making sure everything is good, making sure it's all evenly coated with oil and seasoning and all of that good stuff. But yeah, it's super therapeutic to cook. I actually love it. I think it was a Friday that I filmed this, and yeah, I spent hours in the kitchen doing this, but I love it. Anyway, I added some Maggi in there. Maggi is like an all-purpose seasoning. Again, you don't have to, but I like things flavorful and I wanted my filling to be super flavorful as well. So yeah. Then I'm adding in the tofu mix to everything and I'm going to fry it all up together. And again, I just want everything to be all kind of mixed up together. I want there to be a really strong seasoning taste. So do what makes you happy. Do what is your preference. You don't have to use as many seasonings as I am using, but this is what I'm doing. Yes. Okay, moving on to the next step. So I am mixing everything together, and then from there, I'm just gonna add a little bit more salt because I definitely did not taste anything when I actually tried this. So I'm adding some salt to help bring out the seasoning and the flavor of my food. And trust me, I hate adding too much salt, so don't even come for me. Anyways, I added more salt because I'm also gonna add some lettuce to this, and that's gonna probably water down the mix. So yes. Anyway, I've washed my lettuce. I'm now shredding it up as much as I can into small pieces because, again, I want the filling to be as small as possible, but also as flavorful as possible. I absolutely love cooking. Oh my gosh, it's coming together, guys. It's going to be amazing. Trust the process. Okay, so I'm stirring everything together. That's the tofu, the spring onions, the lettuce, and the mushrooms. So, yes, we're getting there. Okay, Queen. So the food is looking amazing. So then as a next and final step, we're going to move on to the rice paper sheets and we're going to start rolling. So you're going to need some hot slash warm water. You're going to need a plate slash bowl thing where you can kind of fill the water in. It basically has to be big enough for you to put a sheet in and be able to saturate it with water. And you're also going to want to set up a dry area, separate area where you can actually roll your dumplings. So once you've done all of that, you're going to grab your first sheet and you're going to dunk it into the water. And then from there, you're going to hold it for like 1 to 2 minutes until it's all like saturated and the sheet itself is really flimsy and flexible and you can move it all around. And that's how you kind of know when it's done. And then you're going to spread it out onto your dry area, onto your clean area where you're going to roll the dumplings. And you're going to just start adding your filling to the center or to whatever part you need to roll your dumplings. So I'm using this envelope method, which is meant to be like the easiest one. I just Googled it. You can pick whatever works best for you. There's no right or wrong. The main thing is that you're able to roll and seal the ends of your sheet and make sure that the filling is really well packed up in there. One tip I would give you is to double up on sheets if you're going to do bigger dumplings like myself. So one thing I started to notice is that my dumplings got bigger and bigger as I went on because I got lazier and lazier, and it made the dumpling sheets, or sorry, the rice paper sheets really flimsy, and it meant that they broke in the end, so they didn't look as pretty as I wanted them to look. So again, I would recommend using 2 sheets if you're going to fill up your dumplings quite a lot, and if you're going to do smaller dumplings, then of course 1 sheet is fine. Okay, so we're rolling until we finish the rice paper sheets, until we finish the filling, and then you're pretty much good to go. Anyways, I just thought I'd use this time to share a little bit more about my thoughts on being a vegan in Germany. So when I started my vegan journey, I definitely thought it was going to be a struggle. I thought German food is pretty much bread, it's pretty much meat, and there's very few things in between. So it was going to be a struggle, that's what I thought at least. And so far, it's been the polar opposite. I've actually been very surprised at how many places have vegan options, how many places cater to different dietary needs and requirements. So it's been a venture and it's been a good one. In terms of restaurants here, pretty much all of them have a vegan option, if not multiple. And when I talk about vegan option, I'm not talking about removing like the meat or the fish and calling it vegan, but really a vegan dish. And they've been really, really yummy. So I've been impressed and surprised, and I'm just excited to keep this vegan journey when it comes to trying out new restaurants and new dishes. In terms of cafes, I've also experienced pretty good things. So almost every cafe I've been to has a dairy replacement. So it will usually be oat milk or almond milk, and that is Hafermilch or Mandelmilch in German. So yes, that was me flexing my German skills there. But yeah, they usually have a dairy replacement. Sometimes you do have to pay extra for it. It could be like 30 cents, 50 cents, which kind of sucks. But hey, we do what we have to do to save the animals after all. When it comes to grocery shopping, it's been okay. So I wouldn't say I've been disappointed, but I wouldn't say I've been impressed. I do most of my grocery shopping at Aldi or Lidl. I can't remember which one it is, but I basically have one next door to me, and that's where I go to get all of my bits and bobs. They do have a few vegan options, but not many. So usually I do have to branch out into a second grocery store, which is where my struggle comes. So yes, I have to walk an extra 5 to 7 minutes to go to a grocery store, a second grocery store to get some vegan options. But again, it's not been such a struggle because they do have them. The price is okay. It's a little bit more more expensive, of course, than you'd want to pay. But it's okay when you're buying just 2, 3 items here and there. So overall, I think that being a vegan in Germany is sustainable. I do think there are enough cafes, enough restaurants, and enough supermarkets that cater to a vegan diet. And because of that, I definitely do see myself being a vegan long term. As an important next step, I do think that I have to consult a dietitian. So I need someone, a specialist, that can tell me exactly what foods I need to be eating, to also control the amounts I'm eating, making sure that I'm getting enough and all of that good stuff. So I think it's super, super important whenever you change your diet, whenever you restrict your diet, or even just make such a drastic change to the way that you eat, that you consult someone, a specialist, and not just Google, not just Instagram, but really a specialist that can advise you and make sure that you're on the right track for your body size, your body type, and all of that good stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. But beyond that, I definitely do see myself being a vegan long term. I hope that maybe this has helped convince 1 or 2 of you to try some vegan dishes, if not become a vegan at least. But anyways, it's all good fun. I enjoy cooking and I hope you enjoyed watching me too. At the same time, if you have any suggestions on vegan dishes that I should try, please leave them down in the comments below, because if they're easy enough, I will try them. So yes, go easy on me. But yeah, I do want to try some more vegan dishes. And at the same time, if you are in Germany and you know of some grocery stores that cater to vegans, please leave them down below in the comments. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Oh, and before I forget, this is how my dumplings turn out.